If you've tried decluttering but still feel like you're surrounded by so much stuff, this video is for you. Spoiler alert, motivation is a fallacy. Don't ever believe that you require motivation to keep things tidy or decluttered. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. When we talk about realistic decluttering goals, just know that it's not going to be instantaneous the way that you see it happen on YouTube. Oftentimes, people are only showing you very curated portions of their life, just a little corner that they've decluttered, but there might be a mess out of frame. They may have been decluttering for years and years on end and have participating family members or a small space. They might have shopping habits that are very different from yours and a lifestyle that requires less than yours too. We have to be realistic here. Everything is not as it seems. I recently posted a 1 hour plus long closet declutter where I was decluttering both my closet and my late mother's closet. And I still have so much work to do. It's so easy to burn out. So I would suggest keep furniture that you require to organize the clutter that you have so that you don't have to live in the clutter all the time. Obviously, clear surfaces and all of that first, and really curate what you can that's immediately easy. Like whatever feels like an absolute yes or no, you can handle it right off the bat, but don't dive into emotionally taxing decluttering, such as items of a person who's passed away, for instance, in my case, or things that you used to fit in but no longer fit in, or maybe clothes belonging to your children that they've outgrown that you feel emotionally attached to. Those are some things you can put on the back burner and work on the easier things first. That's definitely something that I implement in my decluttering because it just has simplified my life and also helped me budget my emotions, if that makes any sense. I'm creating this video so that I can look back on it and it can serve as a guideline to my viewers who are also interested in decluttering, and also just to kind of see where I am a year from now, because I think it'll be really interesting. And I recommend that you do the same. I recommend that you document the process. Obviously, if you don't have a channel, you don't need to do this, but take photos of locations in your home that you want to tackle, put them in a folder and look back on them a year from now and see if you've done what you've set out to do. And you might be really surprised, because similar to weight loss, decluttering isn't immediately obvious until you look back and see what you came from. And then you're like, whoa, I really tidied up that space and made a huge change. Even if it's not perfect, a year from now, you will feel proud and motivated to continue on forward. So as I mentioned, goal number 1, mind you, these goals are not in any particular order. They're just absolutely things that I need to tackle. So maybe we can discuss in the comments down below what you think is a category that is more important to work on first. I definitely want to revisit my closet and all of the clothing that I possess in this apartment, because I do need to curate that down, but I did get burnout and kind of declutter decision fatigue towards the end of my 1 hour and a half long declutter, which took more than 1 hour and a half to actually do. Wardrobe is something that I plan to tackle more seasonally, bit by bit. So the way that I went about it this time was I took everything out of my room that I absolutely would not wear and put it in my second dresser, which is residing in my mother's former room. I don't want to have that stress with me in my bedroom, in my closet, in my wardrobe or dresser. I recognize that it is a luxury that I have a spare room now and that not everyone has that, but I would immediately take out things that you feel like you're not going to be wearing or using, because that is a good starting point. And then if there are clothes that are on the chopping block, maybe get yourself to wear one of those said items sometime in your work week or in your day-to-day life. I've found that I sometimes think, oh, I'm going to keep that shirt because it fits and it's still in really good condition. It's not my favorite thing ever, or it's not something that I used to wear because maybe it belonged to my mother formerly. I'll wear it, and if I don't like the way that I feel in that item, and I know that I wouldn't even like it if I fluctuated in weight, or it's just not something that fits in my day-to-day life, that's when I declutter it. Something I didn't include in my wardrobe declutter was my coat closet, shoes, and accessories. I did talk about accessories just a little bit with some leather belts and some scarves, but then I became fatigued. As we work through the seasons in the new year, I will look at boots that I don't want to wear because they're uncomfortable or they don't match my style or the style of the clothing that I wear on a regular basis. Anything that hurts and that I feel I couldn't break in, that would be something that would be considered declutterable. I also want to streamline pieces that are flattering to my figure type. I would recommend to anyone who has difficulty with wardrobe declutters or clothing declutters just in general, become aware of your Kibbe type, which is a body typing system. It took me a while to figure out what I was, but I'm probably a flamboyant natural given my height and the type of builds that I have, shoulders, hips. And figure out your seasonal color analysis. For reference, I'm probably a deep winter given that I have a lot of contrast, very dark hair, very dark eyes, and a slightly cooler complexion. Even though I'm olive skinned, that tends to be really confusing for people, but I would really recommend getting familiar with that. I'm not an expert at all, but the colors that you wear around your face make the difference between you wearing your clothes or your clothes wearing you out and making you look washed out. So that is a huge game changer. And that is something that, even though I like a yellow sweater, well, I know that that color is extremely unflattering on myself. Without going on too much of a tangent, who cares what's on trend? Care more about how things look on you and make you feel more than anything else. Let's move on to the next point. I would like to finish my kitchen cabinet declutter. That may be the next video that I post. I've already filmed halfway through and I accidentally deleted the footage, but thankfully I had an archive, and anyways, y'all don't care. Basically, for the kitchen declutter, my game plan was and is, because it's ongoing, I went through all of my upper cabinets. I went through it and I filled up a box of items that I no longer need or use. And I don't have that guilt because I used to try to declutter the kitchen and my mom would be like, no, we're not getting rid of that because I bought that and I want that. And that was all fair in retrospect, but my situation's very peculiar. Now, ultimately, I make the decision and I picked out a lot of things that I want to get rid of. And this is why it's important to start with upper cabinets, because I wiped everything down. You work your way from top to bottom, the dirt goes down. My next move is going to be to declutter the lower cabinets. My ultimate goal with kitchen organization is to make sure that it is ultra functional. I'm lucky in that, although I have a really small kitchen, I do have so much storage space. So I make sure that the spices are right where I'm going to cook with them. The sauces and ingredients that I want to use throughout your time cooking. It makes cooking such a much more pleasurable experience. And I'm also in the habit of not keeping too much in my fridge or in my pantry. I don't want things sitting if I don't plan on using them within the next 3 months, because otherwise that's just kind of gross to me. I want to have a rotation and be very intentional about the things that I introduce into my kitchen, especially consumables. Goal number 4 is my linen closet. I decluttered that November 13th-ish. I already decluttered it. I did go through a lot of the beauty products that were in there, and I've now downsized beauty products to less space in there and have actually put towels and blankets back in. It's a long story, okay? If you didn't watch that video, that was one of my first declutters that actually blew up, and it was 4,000 views, which was so perplexing to me. I didn't understand why so many people watched that declutter and not my other ones, but I digress. That is an area that I want to revisit because there are definitely blankets and towels that I'm probably not going to use because I haven't touched them since I folded them and put them in that closet, which is baffling to me. It's actually so baffling. Goal number 5 is to revisit my laundry closet. I don't really have a laundry room. I have a laundry closet in my entrance. There are cleaning products that probably still need to be decluttered, even though I decluttered a lot of specialty cleaning things. Like, for example, I had found a wood cleaner in there for wood floors, and I have horrible linoleum floors that don't require a wood cleaner at all. So I did at least get rid of that. But there was also hair dye, men's hair dye that my mother used to use to touch up her roots. And I actually have quite a bit of gray hair that you can't see in this video. And I kept it just in case. I've already made that decision, and I don't know why. I thought for whatever reason that I might change my mind, and I kept that one thing that I know I'm never gonna touch, so I'm gonna declutter that. But anyways, goal number 6, the perfume collection. I already had so many fragrances. I think I have 35 or something to that respect, and I have been panning perfumes, and I do plan to pan as much as I can. I am very liberal at spraying perfume because I do really enjoy perfume. I really do. And my mother was worse, okay? She would go to the Marshalls or the Winners and go and stock up on so many fragrances. So perfumes, same thing. I don't consider a perfume to be off if it has changed colors, because the color of fragrances oxidate depending on what kind of dyes they use in the perfume. Like, they can fade over time. But any perfume that I feel doesn't smell appropriate on me or doesn't wear well, if it disappears or if the sillage is too strong, too weak, those are the types of things that I want to declutter. And also any fragrances that I plain and simply don't like, that I don't plan on wearing, they need to go. I'm probably not going to be super meticulous about this declutter, but I want to do a soft declutter there so that I can just maintain a little bit of peace. But it's not my huge priority because right now they're all sequestered into a makeup drawer that is out of sight, out of mind, and I have a rotation of 6 or 7 perfumes on my dresser that I like to spritz and play with depending on the occasion, which you can check out on my blog. Goal number 7 is a right now goal. Goal number 7 is I'm doing a no buy, or a low buy rather, for this time of year because I want to focus on getting gifts, and I am leaning towards perishables, consumables, because I don't want to contribute to the clutter of other people's lives. I don't want to be that person who gets you the thing you're gonna feel guilty about keeping, or that you're gonna feel like you have to regift. And the fact that I won't be shopping for those types of things that you keep in the house and that create clutter will eliminate my temptation to purchase such items as well, because I won't even be looking at stuff that is just going to eventually turn to clutter for me too, if I'm tempted to purchase it for myself. For the last few years, you might have noticed that I've posted a lot of Project Pan content. I've since stopped because I'm not tracking it as meticulously as I was before. Goal number 8 is for me to focus on finishing products. Finishing products is always a goal of mine. For instance, right now, I don't have a lot of body lotion in my skincare stash because I was sent a lot of facial skincare during my blogging days. I don't have a lot of body products. Rather than go out and buy body skincare like body lotion, I'll use them on my body instead. Repurpose or multifunction products that you already have. So for instance, if you're not going to use up all of your shampoo and conditioner, you can use them to clean other items. So let me know what your top 3 areas that you would like to declutter in your home are. What difficulties do you have decluttering? Because that helps me create more content that you will enjoy. We are doing a closet declutter every season. The coat closet, shoes and accessories. Finish a kitchen declutter. Revisit the linen closet. We will revisit the laundry closet. I will downsize the perfume collection. We're finishing products and we're panning what we can before it goes off, especially if it's items that you don't necessarily feel like you can gift to other people. For now, link one of my declutters on the screen for you to watch. Bye!